Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. It is our first Wednesday episode, so we have to talk wrestling. Obviously, we got to talk to Matt from Wrestling Idiot Nation. We have not met with him yet, so let's hear his story, find out what is going on in the wrestling world as Monday Night Raw revealed a little bit of a change in storyline from, of course, SummerSlam. So, without further ado, here is Matt from Win. Let's go, Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. Welcome back, sinners. This is Season 2 of Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome in to our first Wednesday show. This, I'll be honest, feels a little weird, but it's about to get weirder because after SummerSlam, after Monday Night Raw, things definitely got weird. So we bring in, of course, alongside T.I., we bring in Matt from Win, Wrestling Idiot Nation from the Cineverse. Congratulations on your first episode. It only took 108 or so episodes, Matt, so congratulations. I want to start by
not by design.
Yeah.
That happens.
I want to start by asking you, Matt, like, here's the big thing that I remember this as a kid. Like, I'll admit I was into WWF, WCW, WWE, like all that when I was younger. I haven't kept up as much, but here's what I do know. Whenever there was the big event, and for example, SummerSlam just days ago and Raw a couple days ago, that next Monday night or whatever always like kept that storyline going. And what I want to know from you is what jumped out at you for the Monday storyline that was a couple days ago.
Sure, yeah. So I think, a big question that everybody had was, where did LA Knight fit into everything after, when Seth obviously faked his injury? Now that we know that it was a faked injury, LA Knight did technically beat him, but of course he's going to want some sort of answers to, what went on. So I think it's important that they touched on that. But then, of course, you have, Roman Reigns coming into the mix. You have CM Punk angry because he just won the world title and now it's gone. But, Seth cashed in. So it's kind of like you have these four guys who all want the same thing, who are all kind of, in a way, angry at each other in different regards. But so that's kind of, it leaves you wondering where they're going to go next. At the end of August, they have Clash in Paris. We haven't seen a fatal four-way in a long time for the world title. It might be time to break one out again, but a lot can happen between now and the end of August. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of like, I try to watch from afar. I try to pay attention to the page, without trying to interfere. I'll jump in there a little bit in post, but I did see that, there was a lot of back and forth about the Seth Rollins injury. And, me being the wide-eyed, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, I can't remember, maybe I was 18 when it happened, but at MTSU watching Hogan flip, I know anything is possible. So I felt it was a ruse all along. They keep calling it the ruse of the century. I don't know about that, because I think there were a lot of folks who knew he was faking it. But I do like the storyline. I like how they played it. I hate the fact that CM Punk finally got some gold and they take it from him in 5 minutes. It's like, I feel like they're still punishing him for leaving the WWE. It's like, yeah, welcome back, but we're still going to never let you win anything. And he's my current favorite wrestler. So I between him and Cody, I like Cody a lot too. I was hoping that he went full on heel, but that didn't happen. But that doesn't mean it's still not in the cards, because they're pulling out some crazy stories. But I did see Mr. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso pull off a pretty nice match for Roman Reigns only to get beat down on Monday night. So I think he took about 5 tsunamis. I don't know. I think I saw at least 3. I don't know. How many tsunamis did he take?
For me, it cut off, and I don't know if that was a problem with my Netflix or if that was a
Oh
decision,
no.
because I think that, they popped up the executive producer credit like 5 minutes before the end of the show even happened. Usually that's at the very end. So I think that they did one of those things where they want you to go on Twitter or something and see what happened, after the camera's cut, or my Netflix feed just cut out,
Yeah.
one or the other.
No, it's probably the latter. They want you to hop online. Then it's going to be behind the scenes. Got the new Netflix show. But before we dive into your story, though, I want to ask what you thought about the John Cena Cody Rhodes street fight. I wish there would have been a little more street fight in it. Thought it was just more of a fight.
Sure.
It was it was a little tame, but I thought it was a great match. I liked the way it ended. Although, like I said, I was wanting to see Cody come full heel. I think it worked enough to bring John Cena back to where he needs to be. But then, obviously we saw with Brock Lesnar making his return, there's a storyline there. So yeah, what did you think about that match? Because I thought it was pretty spectacular, personally.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Probably for me, one of the most memorable matches of the year. Especially as far as John Cena's farewell tour. I haven't felt like a lot of the matches have been that great personally. Regardless of storyline, just the matches themselves. And I thought this one really delivered. I thought that it ended SummerSlam with a bang. Even without Brock Lesnar returning, I thought it was already a great main event and, a great night too. So Brock Lesnar was kind of that crazy icing on the cake, I guess, to add on to that. But I did like seeing, you saw the aggression come out more with Cody, with him, taking the ring rope apart and using the turnbuckle to hit Cena. Whenever somebody displays those sort of, emotions as like a baby face, you do kind of see their frustration starting to come out. And that could be the seeds getting planted of that, full heel turn, of course. But, with the Brock Lesnar stuff, man, we're just going to have to see where they go with it. Story-wise, I think it's strange that he would wait for Cena to lose the title to come out and challenge him. He seems like a guy that if he's going to show up, he's going to go after the gold, But, I wouldn't mind seeing another Cena and Brock Lesnar match on this farewell tour. So,
Sure. Well, I mean, it's changed a lot since I was younger, even in my teens, like mid-20s. Like, obviously, the roster changes, the attitude versus the era has changed. Like, I get all that. Everybody has their favorites. My first wrestler I ever fell in love with was Jake the Snake Roberts. I just loved it. And, like I said, I'm a huge Taker fan. I love Bret Hart. I feel like I've always liked a little bit of the dark side of wrestling. So, like, I know you and I are a little younger. Adam and I are the same age. So I'll ask Adam first. Like, Adam, growing up, like, who were your guys? Like, Adam, like, who was let's just give us three. Who were your top three when you were a kid?
Man. So NWO like kind of changed my, like, I was like, whoa, this is different. Like, this is something that it was almost like NWO wasn't supposed to be a thing, and like they forced their way through. Like, it's the NWO. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of felt that way, like they were the true bad boys. And I totally get, as I was much younger, I totally get now as an adult, or I play one on TV, that like that was part of it. Like, that was like, duh, that was what they were going for. And it was like, they're diabolical, like, so for me, Sting was like, okay, dude, this guy is like next level. Now he's playing a part. I didn't follow him when he was like when he was totally different, like neon colors.
Like, Surfer Sting?
Yeah, when he was like Stingy. Like, he became Sting. Like, to me, like the Crow maybe kind of helped, I get it, but for me it was Sting. It was also because he was so fun to play with on WCW Revenge, was DDP. Diamond Dallas Page. And I will admit, no, that maybe he kind of wasn't. Like, he wasn't like the end all be all. Like, I get it. But look, man, like, I loved watching him. You will feel the bang. Dude, I just did, man. Like, me and my buddies and his younger brothers were so into it, which made me into it more. And so, and I liked how Hulk reinvented himself, you know? And I thought it was pretty cool. Like, and I'm in Fort Wayne, and Kevin Nash actually played for our Fort Wayne Fury with Master P, by the way.
Wow.
Percy Miller. There is some trivia right there. So, and during a Fort Wayne show, they came to do, they were in Fort Wayne, and Kevin Nash took the mic and was like, all right, you Midwesterners, like hillbillies, where are we going after this? Stewie's? And Stewie's was like the local strip club, and the people were just going nuts, dude. Like, we were like, what is happening? Like, and then Goldberg, I saw Goldberg in Fort Wayne beat Saturn in, I think it was 13 seconds. And it was one of those, it was one of those, they have two shows. One is the one that's like televised. We were at the one that was not. So it was like, okay, get rid of Saturn in 13 seconds. You know, everyone had the Who's Next. That was, everyone had those t-shirts.
Yeah.
And, you know, Goldberg at the time was like 124-0 or whatever.
It was a big deal,
so,
man.
I mean, Sting, Goldberg, DDP, I would say, man, like, that was, I mean, gosh, there's so many. Eddie Guerrero, I mean, Rey Mysterio, dude. Like, I really can go on. And I wasn't even the biggest fan. And here I am telling you about two separate times I went to shows and locally here and like all these. I'm like, wait, do I like wrestling? Like, I never thought of myself. But now I know all these storylines. I know all these people. Now I haven't kept up with it. Which, Matt, I want to ask you real quick. What is your take on, a lot of people my age have the same stories as I do. However, within 2 years of that moment, it kind of stopped. Like, we kind of, quote unquote, sad to say, grew up and like didn't stay with it. So my question, because there are listeners probably to this very show that are like, yeah, I kind of don't keep up with it. Like, I'm old school. I kind of like those storylines, and it's just different for me. What is your pitch for people to get back into it? What would you tell someone?
You know, to me, it's similar to comic books. It's one of those things where it's ongoing. You know, a comic could run for 100 years. All the stories are essentially different versions of the same classic superhero stories and bad guy stories. You know, just it's all about how you mix it together in a creative way. And you know, just like every show is going to have its ups and downs. You know, you think about shows that, you know, they have 13 hours of content that they make for a season, and that can make or break the show. But these guys have hours of television each week that they have to constantly have all these different stories going. And so I think that it's normal to get fatigued and kind of almost have to step away for a second. But, you know, not everybody has to be a diehard. And I think that's the thing, is like, you could turn it on at any time and kind of just enjoy some matches, enjoy kind of just the fun of, you know, whatever drama is going on that night. And
like,
you know,
I will say, yeah, like if a couple of my buddies are like, dude, the next big whatever is in Fort Wayne or in Chicago or like somewhere close to me, Indianapolis, Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, those are all those cities are pretty close to me, which is kind of cool. If someone was like, dude, 10 of us are going, we're taking my party bus and we're gonna go, like, dude, I'd be into it, you know,
even if it was Cleveland.
Well, I'm out, but you'd have to pay me. But other than that,
I know Matt's went to his share of events and actually events out down in Memphis, a lot of meet and greets and stuff. I've went to a lot of Monday Night Raws, SmackDowns. I've only went to one pay-per-view many years ago in Nashville, and that was great. I was my wife or my girlfriend at the time.
Pay-per-view is pretty solid.
Yeah, it was my girlfriend and my wife now and my roommate, and I convinced her to go. I was like, just go. You have a blast, And we had the worst seats in the house, man. We were at the very top, and we were blocked by the whole jumbo. All this just the worst, right?
Dude.
Well, but listen, this is what's great. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. This is terrible. I hate this. This usher comes up and is like, anybody that's sitting from here to here, come with me. Dude, they put us on the floor. We were like 15 rows back from the ring. I was like, what is going on, dude? It was crazy. Awesome. Dude, it was crazy. It was crazy. We saw Taker versus Hogan. I think that was the year I think it was Triple H versus Jericho. I think Hell in a Cell, maybe. I don't remember.
I was a Jericho-holic.
Oh, I love Jericho. I did. He's always one of my favorites. Like I always like the guys that not only were technical but also could like work the mic and be very
the personality,
hated,
very
hated.
Dude, the
I love
personality
the guys that were
for me.
Hated.
Yeah. There was people that I liked, like that were like Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Bushwhackers, who were just like, like whatever. It wasn't the personality factor, but they were just like, dude, how could you not love Hacksaw Jim Duggan? Like, dude, like get out of here. Like,
absolutely.
But of course, like The Rock and those guys that were built for it. Their personalities, right?
Right.
So okay, Matt, I want to ask you, tell us about Wrestling Idiot Nation, what you think about all this craziness, being a part of the Cineverse. You're on the group text with us, with all of us wacky characters. What's that been like? How'd you get started with doing this?
Yeah, so I'm a Titans fan, and on Facebook.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, Adam's a Niners fan, So
is Matt
cool
gonna go to the watch party? Does Matt know? Do we need to tell him real quick?
Well, Matt lives in Memphis, so it might be a little hard for him to roll.
Oh, come on, one game. I'm coming from Fort Wayne, dude. Matt.
Well, we gotta make sure it gets. I gotta make sure it gets booked before I start telling people to come up. So I haven't got it booked yet, but I'm hoping.
You will.
Yeah.
So we're planning a watch party when my 49ers play against you guys, but the thing is, the game is in California. So instead, we're trying to get a bunch of people to come down to Nashville. We can, hang out Saturday night beforehand would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Go out, and then Sunday go to the bar that TI has the connection with and help host the watch parties and stuff. So we're planning that. So if I'm driving from Fort Wayne, Matt, I'm just telling you, you don't have an excuse. Like, it's not that far.
When is it?
It's like December.
Late.
It's late in the year. You have time to plan. All right. It's August.
All right. I'll mark my calendar for sure.
Yes, dude. Like, look in the calendar. It's like week 10, week 12. I don't know.
That's
something like that.
Oh man, I got something to do that night.
I'm painting my house that day. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really will see if I can make it. No.
Yeah, dude.
If I can make it, I'll definitely be there.
Yeah. Well, let me make sure we have a watch party before I tell you to drive up.
Sure.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you. It got canceled.
You only have to get to meet Adam now in person. That's it. All right.
Yeah.
And you get to see your team lose.
Nah, I don't think so. Didn't like that. Didn't like that one. Man. Sorry, you're breaking up there. Didn't really hear you, Adam.
Right.
That's funny.
But Matt, so before you answer too about that, I just want to say I want to thank you for being a part of this and being a part of the Cineverse and everything, and wanting to man this side of the wrestling side and letting me be involved in it as well. So but as Adam said, love to hear kind of your thoughts on just being a part of all this and how it came to be. What led you to slide into my DMs?
Right.
Is that how it went down? See, I don't even know.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
let's hear it.
It's the way to that's how you get in my pants, Adam. You just slide in my DMs.
I had a friend do it for me. I had Miles.
Oh, nice. So essentially, I followed his page, the Titans Idiot Nation page, and I saw that he had created kind of Sports Idiot Nation to kind of be like an umbrella for all these potentially different things. And, I just thought more about it. And I think I saw him maybe post something about wrestling one time, or I can't remember for sure, but I just sent him a message one day, and I thought it would be cool to have a Wrestling Idiot Nation. It was like, hey man, if you ever want to do that, I watch it all the time. I follow everything. I enjoy kind of your your humor and kind of the way you go about things, with how you present yourself and your brand, and I thought that would be something cool to be a part of, where I could nerd out about wrestling, kind of share my nerdy dad jokes with people, and hopefully, talk about wrestling and make some people chuckle a little bit along the way.
Dude,
And
that's awesome.
If the YouTube algorithm is listening, he said nerdy dad jokes and not dirty dad jokes.
Correct.
Okay, not
And
dirty
not
dad
Diddy,
jokes.
and not Diddy
not
either.
Diddy.
The
Nice
pronunciation.
try,
No,
Diddy.
no.
Nice try, Diddy. No. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with Miles, Adam, just, I get, and same thing with Devin as well with racing. I get a lot of folks sliding the DMs. Oftentimes it's, hey, how do I get some shades, or hey, oh man, did you see this story? Or, oh, go fuck yourself. It's usually one of those three.
A lot of
Usually one of those three. But and every now and then, I get some folks who are like, hey, I write some articles, or hey, I do some stuff too, man. Check out my stuff, or if you're ever interested in collabing, or you name it. And I'm in my first rodeo, man. I can see through some folks' bullshit sometimes. Not all times. Sometimes we all slip up, but I'm pretty good at it. And Miles was the first person who reached out and sent me a couple of his articles. And I'm a journalism major. I had a writing minor, so it's like I was like, okay, hey, Miles, he can write good. He can write well. I like his style. Miles, I started collabing on articles, and he was the first person I told about Sports City Nation, and
yeah, and
so
he hit me up right away then, because Miles and I had a podcast in 2016, and so because Miles is from Fort Wayne, and then he moved down, and so he hit me up and was like, dude, you got to meet this guy Ti. He wants to do a podcast, all sports, like just goofy, like we got to do this. And I'm like, all right, tell me where to sign, like let's go. And so now we're just over, literally as of this week, we're just over a year of episodes of Sports City Nation.
And the thing is we're not even with all of this, like with Win and racing and everything, like we're not even a full year into launching the bridge,
we're not even
the
there
bridge
yet.
brands. So
yeah.
I'm just real excited to, like I said, to have you a part of it. It was basically like, Matt was like, hey, this is my thoughts, let me know what you're thinking. And as Matt said, I've posted a lot of random wrestling stuff, a lot of old school stuff, not a lot of new stuff, but just because I was out of the loop, I didn't have cable, and until Netflix picked up Raw, I haven't been able to like regularly tune in. And I love the fact that I can just pop it on and watch it at 1 a.m. or 8 a.m, like whenever I want now, if I catch up, if I miss it. So I could be a little more, have my finger on the pulse of it. But what I liked about Matt's pitch was that I could tell he was passionate about it, because he was up to date on all the storylines. He goes to the events when he can, loves to go to meet and greets. He could fill the 85 to 90% of what I needed if I wanted to run it myself, but I couldn't even current events. Once I talked to Matt and got on the phone with him, I was like, oh man, this guy loves wrestling. I believe in him. Reminds me a lot of me being passionate about, my pop culture things and things that I love, collecting games and just things like that. And you can tell by his background. He's got the Jacob Fatu there, got the belts. I love it. But
I got Cena and Cody holding hands, sitting on the ledge right here.
So I just felt it. It's like the same thing with Miles, same thing with Devin. I felt the passion once I hopped on the phone. Miles drove down, we met, we had a beer. Everybody else I've hopped on the phone. I just believed in Matt, and told him, let's do it, man. And what's the worst that could happen? And hey, here we are. Paige is doing well. Last time I checked, man, you got it this last month, man. It's been like about over 100,000 reach every month, which is great. 100,000 views for a page that's, we're pushing
new still.
Yeah, and still pushing 500 followers. So like That's good. Those are good numbers, man. So it's all about your passion. It's all about your finger on the pulse of the current events and the interaction with the fans and being honest with folks, And another thing I will say is that I love how you shine, how you show so much love to the female side of it, because, growing up in my era, they were just either the foil or the eye candy. They were never the main event. Sure. And I mean, I just take Tiffany Stratton, for instance. Like, she's amazing. She's freaking seen her flipping out doing all this stuff, and I'm just like, man,
Yeah.
Miss Elizabeth wasn't doing stuff like that, So
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing.
China.
Like, it's changed so much, and so I love the fact that where a lot of wrestling sites could be misogynistic or even homophobic, it's like you really cater to all sides of the wrestling fan, which is what I try to do in the football world, and that's why I really like working with you, man. So I appreciate what you're bringing to the table, and look forward to watching it grow over the next few years.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man, we love you being part of the Cineverse, man, because for me, like racing, wrestling, I'm not into it as much as like say football or basketball, I will admit. However, I say this all the time about going to concerts and stuff if it's not my favorite artist, whatever. I love passionate people doing the thing that they're passionate about and just seeing that. It's cool. I don't care if it's not my thing. Like if they're passionate about it and they're good at it, it's fun because it like resonates still, you know what I mean? And of course I have like with my childhood, like all those stuff that I remember and stuff, and how could you not kind of get into it no matter what age you are? So no, I love it too, man. I love that you're a part of the group, like this camaraderie that we have even on the group chat and just like everything. So be sure, guys, to follow Wrestling Idiot Nation if you are not already. And we're going to try and talk Matt into coming back and hanging out with us and maybe kind of do some of his own stuff. I see like the cool background. He's got the microphone. He's kind of got some setup. So we'll try and see what we can do here.
Try to squeeze some wrestling podcast episodes out of him. Before we go, Matt,
Yeah.
I already said who my first love was. My first wrestler I fell in love with, Jake the Snake. Adam was talking about a little old school WCW wrestlers. Who was your first? I know there's a large age difference between us and as wrestling fans, but who's the first wrestler you fell in love with? Who's the first guy you had to have an action figure? Like when I was a kid, you had to have the pillows. You had to have the pillows you wrestled with.
Yeah.
So like who was your guy? Like who was the first wrestler you wanted to be?
Sure. So I promise I'm not just trying to be a copycat here, but definitely Sting. What the crazy thing is that when I really started watching wrestling like full time as a kid, Sting was actually injured at that point. So this was like after NWO Black and White, after Wolfpack.
He had the sling.
He's like
right?
gone for a little while, and then he comes back and he's got like the goatee now and like all that kind of stuff. But before he returned, I got my mom to buy me a VHS tape of Sting, and it had like all of his like I saw him go from the Surfer Sting into the Crow. I saw the NWO, so I had like these VHS tapes that made me fall in love with this character and think that he was awesome, with the face paint.
Yeah.
Every kid thinks
was
that,
the baseball bat.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Come on.
So yeah, so pretty much Sting. Definitely
what a copycat.
Undertaker as well, man. Like, he. I kind of like the dark, creepy characters also,
Yeah,
and
dude, he was scary as hell, dude.
terrifying. Kane, Paul Bear, the whole Mankind, that whole kind of stuff going on was just like too good.
It's a good era, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Attitude Era was good. I know the Attitude Era gets a lot of flack for the sensationalism, but man, as a young adult and still being interested in it and wanting to still be interested in it, man, they hooked us. I mean, me and my roommates, man, we were our first apartment. We had one of those little toy wrestling rings on our kitchen counter. We would go and buy figures. We would wrestle and stuff, man. We were watching everything, dude. At my freshman year at MTSU, man, every Monday night, man, it was like everybody had the dorms open in Nick's Hall. It was like wrestling. Everybody's flipping back and forth between WCW, Raw. You had the wars going on. You had the DX. You had DX invading. Like it was just what a time to be alive as a wrestling fan, man.
Yeah.
I know the Cena heel turn was a big deal, but seeing the Hogan thing happen live, it was hard for me to be like, oh, this is it. And it was great. I loved it. But it's just, if the Hogan thing had never happened, it would have been more magical. But to me, I was like, I already saw the greatest heel turn of all time. It's tough to top that,
Yeah.
But I love the heels, man. I love the bad dudes. I don't know why. I will say you hit it. You nailed it when you said about wrestling. I tell people all the time, you're not a fan of wrestling. Think of it from this perspective. You're just trying to entertain yourself for a few hours. you like soap operas, you like larger than life characters, you like athletes, you like action heroes, you like villains, you get all of it in 2.5 hours, you know? And so just dive in. And if you don't like 3 storylines, then there's another one that'll come, and you'll get a storyline that's interesting to you. And that's the thing. The storylines have made me more interested in people like LA Knight, who I wasn't familiar with. I love him. He reminds me a lot of The Rock. It really does.
Sure.
He's very charismatic, and you know, I like his thing. You know, CM Punk is a legend, but I mean, like I said, Cody Rhodes has made me a big fan. I met him this past year, and he was really cool to me. And I told him I grew up watching his dad, and I was a huge fan of his dad, and I really like watching him. And he was just nice. Like, I mean, I gave him the shades as a gift, and he was like, "You want me to wear them?" And I was just like, "I would be honored,"
Dude,
you know. So like, I mean,
like that's
most
cool,
and he didn't rush me like he was, you know. So it's just like,
yeah.
I'm getting back into it, and I love that some of these younger guys are like really carrying the torch, and they're not just carrying it to make a paycheck, they're carrying it because they love the sport, love the theatrics, whatever you call it, man. If you think these people aren't athletes, then you're crazy, you know. I mean,
For sure, man.
Yeah. Oh God,
you know?
yeah. The things they can do, even
Yeah.
the women, like you mentioned, like just all that. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, and you have chips on your shirt still from like, I
Yeah.
mean, get out of here. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, I got
no,
Cheeto
it's-
stains on me. Yeah.
It's
So,
great. Yeah.
But yeah, man, Matt, thanks so much, dude. We're gonna have you on. The whole point of this is not to have everybody who mans their pages just be a part of the fun. We're gonna have you on to talk Titans. We're gonna have you on just talk random stuff, pop culture. You know, maybe we introduce a wrestling bit where you, for you know, each week do a recap or something like, oh, this week on Raw we saw this, and then we release it on Sports Idiot Nation. Like that's kind of the whole thing, man. So be thinking about all the cool stuff you want to do. Now the page is growing. Now people know you. Now there's a face to the page. I met Mr. First Down himself, Samuel Dean. I'm sure he'll be on this show one time, but I met him at the Back Together weekend, and he was talking to me about my hatred for Jey Uso. And I was like, I'm not running the page. That's Matt.
That's funny.
I don't hate Jey Uso, man. He's got
like,
something messed up.
Yeah, no, that's what I told him. I was like, I'll pass that along. But I was like, no, we like Jey Uso. But it was just funny that a lot of people are just kind of like assuming I'm running all these pages.
Sure,
and I'm like, if you, I have a hand in them. Trust me. I try to update on every page every day. I try to go in and invite people. But if you think I have the ability to run like 10 pages, then y'all crazy.
Right.
No, exactly.
So we got
Thanks,
people
Matt.
out there that are already familiar with the content, Matt. So keep it up.
Awesome. Thank
Love
you
it.
guys.
Again, follow Win a Wrestling Idiot Nation, a big part of the Cineverse, and we will see you Friday. Thank you for watching this episode of Sports Idiot Nation. Remember, we are on all social media and on YouTube, and the podcast can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Remember, new episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember, because you watch Sports Idiot Nation,
You would be the smartest idiot in the whole world.